Welcome back to another video on Gearsaw Studios, and today I have a little bit of an unscheduled video, and that being how to build a penguin. Just like the Minecraft Live stuff, here we have the unimplemented penguin mob built as good as we can without having an official model. Using some concept art I found online, we have two penguins here, and at the end of the tutorial, I give one of them a nice little hat. So without further ado, let's investigate how we'd build these. Starting off, there's just a few little feet here, and you can see pink terracotta embedded into the ground because the actual feet part would probably be a flat texture. I'm using concept art to do this. And then right here, white concrete, gray concrete. The blocks might change a little bit later. And then what you want to do from here is start building the body. Don't worry about what blocks make up the body, but it should be around 9 by 10 by 12 blocks tall. And then here's a quick demonstration of what it might look like when done. And you can see, pretty simple. It's a stout body that looks pretty fit for a penguin. And then here's some black concrete in case you need counting blocks to see where exactly everything fits in. Right here would be where the fin goes. And then of course mirror it onto the other side. Even though the mirroring is not exact, some parts of the penguin will be asymmetrical, still it should be pretty useful in this regard. And we don't have any idea of what the back of the penguin looks like, so we're going to have to go off of what we can see in the Minecraft Live trailer and things like that. Either way, fins go on either side, and then you need your stout body. Right here, you can see I have the front of the penguin, and it's not very complex. You can see here, I use some light gray wool and light gray concrete for these parts. I recommend pausing and copying. And then you have a white wool belly in order to get that nice shade, but strangely enough, there might be a misplaced pixel. It's up to you whether to keep it like this, but this is what the concept art I found says. And you can see the shape of the body, so in order to drag out the video, please insert Among Us joke here. Okay, well, Among Us joke added, please revert. And now, with that random side tangent that probably made like maybe one person exhale, well, now I have the body here. And then what we want to do is move on to the side. More light gray concrete will be used in these portions, and then more of the light gray wool will extend, and fortunately we have those fins to cover up some of the parts we don't know about. And considering we can see it from the back during the Minecraft Live trailer, and we have pictures of real penguins in real life if need be, I wouldn't worry too much about the back. You can do some generic shading on it and it would probably be pretty accurate. With the front complete, it's now for the side. And you can see here, I have now textured each piece. Feel free to pause to copy. And we're faced with a roadblock. Technically, this is inaccurate for several reasons. For one, not all Minecraft mobs are pixel consistent, as in something that might be 5 pixels on one piece might be ever so slightly smaller but end up being 7 pixels on another, as in they aren't perfectly consistent for blocks, and the penguin is one of those. So unfortunately I had to make a few changes. Right here, technically the flipper or fin or wing, whatever you want to call it, would only stretch down to here. However, this looks a little weird, so even though it would technically be more accurate to leave it like that, I'm going to make it like this instead. And then from here, I did some gray concrete. Later on, I'll add some more detail using gray wool, and then some gray concrete powder for the next shade up. And of course, there's another stray pixel here, so cyan terracotta will be the equivalent for snow in this build. On the feet, I also added a little bit of light gray concrete since it was accurate. And technically we could do the bottom. There isn't much of a reference as to what it might look like. However, based off of from what we could see of the top, it is perfectly possible to texture. So I'll do that at the end. For now, copy whatever you do on this side, then put it on the other side. With the sides done, and then a rough idea of what the back will look like, and then a very rudimentary job on the bottom. It's not like penguins fly, so don't worry too much about it. Now it's time for the head. And you can see I already placed down the major features, that being the beak, the eyes, and then the giant Minecraft eyebrows. And this is all you really need in terms of the actual details. Of course, you still need your shading and such, but in reality the head is really simple compared to most mobs. It is one block thinner than this, and it is perfectly flush with everything else. You do the eyebrows, which are yellow terracotta, the eyes, which are black and white concrete, and then for the beak, red concrete, red wool, back to red concrete, and then some gray concrete right there. And you can see, very simple to build the penguin. All you need to do is further shading, which of course I'll show in just a second after this cool PowerPoint transition that I've been using for the whole video. With a quick move of the penguin structure just to a more fitting area, you can see I've now textured everything. The back now has its texturing with minor edits. The feet now go into the ice if it's on an icy plane. And then right here, notice I use a bunch of different yellows, as in yellow concrete, yellow terracotta, and then 2 blocks of yellow concrete powder to create those giant eyebrows. So this basically just looks like me in real life. I'm short, I have big eyebrows, close enough. So we have both of these penguins here. For our purposes, the build is finished. However, there's something else we can do, and that is giving it a Santa hat. If you want to, you can give it a little Santa hat, something like this, center it on between its eyes, onto its beak, and then you can give it a tiny Santa hat, just like this. You might want to move it 1 block back if you want, but you could literally give the penguin a hat, and it would look pretty cute. Make sure to not have it stand straight up unless it's only going to be a little hat like this. You could have it lumped over, maybe something like this little lighthouse over here. Of course, that's its own tutorial, but here's a general idea of what you do. If you want a Santa hat, you start off with layers like these. You have this rounded edge, and then you make a plane, and then you shift it 1 block in one direction repeatedly until you end off with a little ball, with a little bit of lighting inside as well, so that way it looks good at night. Of course, this hat is a little bit smaller, so I won't be able to fit that same lighting, but still, something like this filling in order to make a little bit of a dome structure. Might come naturally to me, but if you're having a little bit of trouble, all you need to do is copy what I'm doing. If you've built the penguin to the exact specifications I provided, it should be really easy to build this hat. And then right here, you can see it has a little dome hat, and it's kind of cute. Make it extend out a little like this. Now his eyebrows are holding it in place. Widen it on all fronts, maybe even make it droop down a little, although I think that actually looks a little bit too goofy. But something like this, and then you can add the little ball at the top. Something like... that doesn't look very good. Perhaps you don't need to make it that tall, but he has a little hat now, just to make sure the penguins are looking extra cute. And with that, this tutorial is finished. You can see 2 penguins, as accurate as we can be with no official model, and it's pretty much something you can add to any snowy area. Despite that, they actually spawn on stony shores, they said, not snowy areas. And with that, it's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, remember, please like and subscribe, it really helps me out. And another thing, no, 12 Days of Gearsaw is not coming back. I know it was funny for the first 3 years of the channel, but simply put, my videos take quite a bit longer to produce now, hence the delays on the last day of Gearsaw for number 3. Simply, I'm getting a little bit too good at building, and now my builds take too long to reasonably shove out 3 months of work in 3 weeks. So, either way, enjoy the rest of your day and this whole unscheduled video. There's likely more to come. Gearsaw out.